Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about when the narcissist looks at you as weak, okay? These are the times that the narcissist is going to look at you and say, you're weak, all right? Narcissists always think they're superior, they think they're smarter than you, but at certain times in a relationship, when you do certain things, they're really going to look at you as weak. You're just trying to communicate with this person. You're just trying to come to some common ground with this person. But when you do these things I'm about to tell you, you're actually going to look weak to the narcissist. So number one way that you look weak to a narcissist is when you sit there and try to explain yourself, okay? And the problem is when you get involved with a narcissist, and let's say you don't understand narcissism or you don't realize you're dealing with a narcissist, you feel like, well, we have problems, we're not connecting, communication is key, right? All right. They always talk about, communication is key in a relationship, right? You need good communication. This is what everybody preaches. Oh, you have to have good communication. Well, that's all fine and dandy when you're dealing with a regular person. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, the more you sit there and the more you try to explain yourself, the more the narcissist looks at you as weak. You also look weak when a narcissist is gaslighting you and you're sitting there and you keep going back and forth asking them more and more questions. You've got to recognize you're being gaslit and you have to disengage. You have to know what your target is doing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to confuse you. They're not answering a question directly. They're giving you a lot of word salad. And instead of continuing and asking them, well, what does that mean? Or, well, were you out all night or were you not out? And then they keep talking about other things. That's when you have to say, not today, Satan. Okay, I'm not getting a direct answer. I'm being gaslit. They're bringing up other things. I have to disengage. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people sit there and they're trying to, keep interrogating the narcissist or trying to get a straight answer out of the narcissist, and the narcissist just won't do it, all right? They just won't do it because they don't want to take that accountability, so they dodge it and they give you the word salad, all right? They gaslight you or they blame shift you. So the more you go back and forth, the more you're going to look weak. The more you explain yourself, the more you're going to look weak. The more you sit there and defend yourself. When the narcissist starts to attack you, you don't sit there and you don't defend yourself, okay? You disengage, you walk away, all right? Because the narcissist wants to put you on the defense. And once you sit there and you are sitting there and defending yourself, you automatically look weak to the narcissist, all right? See, you shouldn't have to explain yourself to a narcissist. You know who you are. The narcissist knows that you're a good person, all right? But they're going to twist it and put you on the defense. Don't ever let them do this, all right? This is a real mind trick. And so you have to disengage with that narcissist and, you shouldn't explain yourself at all or defend yourself. The more you defend yourself, the more you look weak, okay? The more you seem unsure of yourself. So when you are a person who knows who you are, has, internal strength, knows your worth, you don't have to explain yourself or defend yourself. And the more you do, the more that narcissist is going to look at you as weak, all right? Next time that you look weak to a narcissist is when you keep calling and texting them, all right? If you call or text the narcissist and they don't respond to you right away, don't call and text them again, okay? They got your calls, they got your texts. So if they're not responding to you, that is your sign to back off from them, okay? They're not calling and texting you for a reason. They're either trying to control you or they're busy with somebody else and you're not a priority. So if you're not a priority and you're not being respected by this person, then you have to make a mental note of that and say to yourself, well, I'm not going to be chasing after them, all right? But see, this is what the narcissist wants. They want you chasing after them. They want you always looking for them. They always want you to be the one calling them. So stop it. Stop calling them so much. Stop texting them. Stop asking them, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you text me? Or why didn't you? No, if they don't, then, you make a mental note and say, you know what? This is disrespect. Now I don't give you my time. All right. I don't give you my time. So when you keep calling and texting, the narcissist is going to look at you as weak. All right. The other way you look weak to a narcissist is when you're constantly looking for their validation. When you sit there and you say, well, how do I look? All right. How do I look? You keep asking the narcissist, how do I look? Or, asking them, how do you feel? Like, you're always worried about them and what they think. The more you sit there and worry about what the narcissist thinks, and you show them that you worry so much about what they think, the more you're giving them the power, all right? You're worried about their validation. So you have to, know who the fuck you are. You don't need the validation from the narcissist. You don't need that narcissist to tell you you look good or you're smart or what you're doing is right. You don't need their validation because they will not give it to you. So don't expect validation from them. But the thing is, the more you try to get their validation, the more you will look weak. Okay? Now, next time you will look weak to a narcissist is when you go to therapy, okay? When you go to therapy with a narcissist, the more you sit there, the more you're trying to work it out with the therapist, the more you're going to look desperate and weak, okay? Because the narcissist feels like you're desperate. At this point, you're desperate. You're trying to work it out with the narcissist to the point where you're going to therapy with them. Therapy in general does not work with a narcissist. I hate to tell people this, but it doesn't. You cannot fix a problem when somebody does not acknowledge the problem or somebody can't take accountability for the problem or even part of the problem. So where do you think you're going to go with a narcissist in therapy? Nowhere. They're going to sit there. They're going to gaslight. They're going to play the victim in front of the therapist. They may use whatever is said in therapy against you in court. So going to therapy, you look when you say to the narcissist, well, let's go to therapy. Let's go to therapy. Let's go to therapy. It's like you're at a point of desperation. So and understandable. All right. Maybe you're trying to save your marriage. Maybe you're trying to save your relationship. But at that point, and a lot of times narcissists don't want to go to therapy. It's like you got to pull teeth to get them there. So at that point, you're looking weak to the narcissist because now you're desperate for a therapist to try to make everything right when they're not going to be able to make everything right. Okay. So the narcissist, that signals to the narcissist that you're desperate to the point of having to go to therapy, and they feel they have the upper hand at that point. They feel they have the upper hand, all right? Now, another time that you will look weak to a narcissist is when you run to others for support, okay? Let's say you calling your mother, you're calling your family, you're having a problem with the narcissist, and you're running to your people because the narcissist is busy with their people. They're calling their family, their mother, when you're going to work behind your back, smearing you, gossiping about you. So now you feel alone. And so you run to other people for support. The narcissist is going to look at you now as weak, and they're going to hate it. They do not want you to have any kind of people backing you up. So when you run to others for support, the narcissist is going to look at you as weak, and they're going to try to tell you something like, oh, don't tell anybody our business. Keep our business between you and me. Don't tell your family what's going on. Don't tell this one what's going on, because they're afraid that these people are going to pump you up, make you strong, and they're going to open your eyes to the manipulation that the narcissist is putting you through. So they will absolutely hate when you run to others for support, and they're going to think that you're weak, okay? They're going to hate it. But part of the ways that you strengthen yourself is to have support, okay? Whether the narcissist thinks it's weak or not, or whether they try to gaslight you into thinking it's weak or not. They want you alone. They want you isolated. This is why they want to isolate you from your family and friends, so that you are completely codependent on them. So they're going to look at you weak when they realize that you're running to other people and talking to them and looking for some kind of validation or some kind of support when it comes to what's going on between you and the narcissist. Now, the next time you will look weak to a narcissist, and this is very common, you guys, is when you put up a boundary and you don't follow through with consequences. And I've talked about this time and time again, where plenty of people are constantly putting up boundaries, telling the narcissist, I told you, you better not do that again. And guess what? They're still there, okay? They're still there. You're just coming out with words and no consequences. So the narcissist knows that, and they're going to look at you as weak because you're not enforcing any kind of consequences for when they break your boundaries. So they're not going to take you seriously. They're not going to take seriously what comes out of your mouth. It's like when you break up with the narcissist and then you get back together. Then you break up with the narcissist, then you get back together. Then you break up with the narcissist, then you get back together. Those are the real toxic relationships, all right? And the more you keep taking that narcissist back, the more you lose your power, okay? I talk about certain things about how to regain your power in my book on Amazon, okay? You could read it for free on Kindle, How to Regain Your Power. And one of the ways that people lose their power is by keep taking back the narcissist, all right? Keep taking back the narcissist, or just threatening the narcissist and not following through with consequences. So when you do this, the narcissist is going to look at you as weak. You don't have the strength to walk away. You keep saying you're going to do it, but you don't, or you walk away and then you come back and you let them back in. So now the narcissist has the upper hand. They have the power because they know that your boundaries don't mean anything. And that's when you're going to look weak, okay? The other time that you will look weak to a narcissist is when they ghost you and then you pick up your phone, okay? When you pick up your phone after a narcissist has ghosted you or disappeared, you automatically look weak. And when you get on the phone with that narcissist and they try to gaslight you, or they'll say something like, I love you, or something so that you forget about the fact that they disappeared on you, you look weak. You should not even give them the time of day. If somebody ghosts you or disappears on you or blatantly ignores your texts or calls for a period of time, then they don't deserve to be in your presence. Then they have zero respect for you, okay? And now you're getting on the phone with them and talking to them, and they're just going to give you a whole bunch of, word salad. I was going through something. Oh, I fell asleep last night. Oh, this, that. I just needed time to myself. Well, listen, we all need time to ourselves, okay? But the thing is, it's a matter of respect. And so when the narcissist is blatantly, if somebody needs time for themselves, fine. But don't ignore somebody's call or text. Send them a message and say, listen, I need time for myself, or, I'm going to be doing this. You're in a relationship. You have to abide by certain rules when you're in an exclusive relationship. You can't just disappear and pretend that you're single, okay? So when a narcissist does that, they're treating you like a jerk. So you're going to look weak when you get on the phone with them and give them your time, all right? The only thing that I could recommend with something like that is that if you do get on the phone with them, if you want to keep them still in your life, which technically you shouldn't, because this person has no respect for you to do those kind of things. But if you could just set up that one boundary and say, if you ever do that again, you and I will not be talking. All right. But generally, if you let them get away with that a first time, there will be a second time. All right. And I talked about boundaries where I said you give them one chance. All right. I talked about this years ago when I started podcasting. I was podcasting about dating and relationships. And I talked about how you give them one chance if you even want to do that. Okay. And if they break that, then you have to, follow through with the consequence of not, dealing with them, because now this person doesn't respect your boundaries. And of course that got copied with the one chance. All right. But this is what you need to do. You need to say, if you ever do that again, I will not be here. And you have to mean it. You can't just threaten and not follow through. All right. So you guys, when they play games like this, they ghost you, they disappear. It's a wrap. All right. The other thing is how you make yourself look weak is kind of like what I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast. The more you keep asking the narcissist, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And this will typically happen when you're dealing with a covert narcissist, because with a covert narcissist, what they're going to do is they run cold on you or they run silent on you. And what the victims are usually doing is they're sitting there and they're asking the covert narcissist, is something wrong? Is something wrong? What's wrong? Okay. And the covert narcissist, of course, is going to gaslight and tell you nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Okay. They're going to keep you in the dark. This is what they love to do. And you're going to be sitting there begging them, what's wrong? Why aren't you talking? Why are you quiet? And they're going to be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just tired from work. I'm bored. Oh, I'm just on my phone, blah, blah, blah. They're gaslighting you. They know why they're doing it. They're playing mind games with you. But see, when you don't sit there and ask them, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay. When you do that, you're losing your power. So don't do that. All right. When somebody's withdrawing from you, they're being cold to you, they're gaslighting you with their bullshit excuses. You just, you back off from them. You disengage, you back off from them. And last thing you don't do is you don't go begging them and asking them what's wrong. When you disengage from them, they will know that you know what they're doing. They will know that you're on to their mind games. Okay? So you guys, this is how you handle a narcissist. All right? When narcissists are going to look at you weak at certain times. And the more you beg them, the more you're going to look weak. The more you don't enforce your boundaries, the more you're going to look weak. You're going to look weak. You're going to look desperate. And the narcissist is going to have the upper hand. So you have to, hold yourself and not give them, that kind of power. So don't be asking them, begging them. Don't defend yourself. Stay to yourself. And when they, refuse to open up to you and show vulnerability, or they're, being cold, distant, aloof, you disengage from them. Okay. Don't look for their validation. All right. The other thing too that I want to add, one more time that narcissists look at you as weak is when you show vulnerability. See, a lot of times you sit there, you may start crying, you may be upset about something, and you're thinking, this person loves me, I can talk to them, I can open up to them, I could tell them my problems. And the narcissist may pretend to show some compassion or humility, but they really don't have that kind of empathy for you, all right? So they will be looking at you. They have cognitive empathy where they'll be looking at you where they understand why you're upset, but they don't have the emotional empathy where they feel for you. So when you show them your vulnerability, they're going to look at you as weak for the fact that you're showing vulnerability, all right? They look down on people that are showing their vulnerability, and they will use whatever vulnerability you show them. Okay, maybe you tell them a very intimate detail or a private secret. They will take that and they will use that against you later on. That's your covert narcissist. They will use that against you later on. So they are dirty snakes. They are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they will take these things and use them against you. So when you show this vulnerability to the narcissist, especially the covert narcissist, they are not going to have compassion, or they're not really sympathizing with you. They're pretending to. But, you're going to look weak in their eyes because you are showing vulnerability, because they view people that show vulnerability as weak. All right. So I hope that helps you, and don't ever give in to the narcissist by, making them important. The more insignificant you make them, the more you are powerful. So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the video, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential coaching, check out the link in the bio. I have limited time. Like I said before, I don't know how much longer I can coach because I'm working on this other project, you guys, that is just taking up so much time. All right. Also, check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. I have over 7,000 videos. I cover pretty much almost everything on narcissism on that channel. Just go to the channel, go to my search box on the channel and look up anything that you want on narcissism. Whatever it could be: discard, covert narcissist, love bombing, future faking, mirroring, triangulation. It's all on my YouTube channel. I have thousands of videos on narcissism on there. TikTok is the Game Exposed for more, and Facebook and Instagram is the Game EXP 123. And have a great day, you guys.